I'm happy to welcome back George Anastasopoulos here to our studio. Thanks for being here again today.
Thank you for having me.
It's another episode of Timekeepers Tips, where we help you make better decisions with your time. And today we're talking about conflicting priorities.
Indeed. So, and we all have conflicting priorities. Wouldn't it be terrific, Jessica, if, we had our priorities lined up in a row? I'll do A first, and then I'll go to B, and finally finish with C.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be fantastic. However, that doesn't quite work out that way. There's always a conflict of some sort, between family and work and, my volunteer time with the United Way as an example, or, myself. How about prioritizing myself? I just came back from the Y. And so all of those priorities, something's got to give type of thing. And, we often feel this need that or the sense of we're going to disappoint someone because of these conflicting priorities, and that person is generally us. And so there are consequences that come with these priorities, and it's, as I mentioned before in an earlier episode, it's driven from this, 21st century thinking around, I want what I want and I want it now, mindset.
And part of that is the belief system that is ingrained.
Spot on the mark. And so let's talk a little bit about that belief system. So the belief system is what drives us here. And so if I have a belief to the point of something like, I don't do compromise, or I don't do compromise well, or something like that, then you got to realize that drives my actions. But more importantly, it influences the stress level I feel when there's things taking place that are in conflict with that belief. And so 100 years ago or more, there was a popular phrase that says you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, 100 years later, it's still as popular. We just don't like to talk about it anymore because we're not supposed to. I really want what I want and I want it now.
Right.
And so something's got to give.
So what advice do you have then?
So let's make it simple for our audience. There's really three things here I'd like to suggest. The first thing is notice that you've got that belief. Recognize it, acknowledge it, that it's the belief that's causing you stress, distress in many cases. The second thing is to take that belief, put it in a really big box, shut the lid, turn the key, lock it, throw away the key, drive up into Halton Hills someplace, dig a really deep hole, and then bury the thing. Don't tell anybody where it is.
And don't think about it again.
Don't ever think about it again. And thirdly, because you've buried that belief, you need to go find a different belief to replace it with, because it doesn't stand there in isolation. And so I might suggest, for example, that you acquire a different type of belief or beliefs. Something like, you know what, when I'm conflicted by some of these priorities, it's because, and it reaffirms the fact they're really important to me. Or, you know what, when, I'm not getting my way because I want to do it all, it just means I'm human. Or beliefs like that. And of course, you get to pick whichever belief you think works best for you.
Now, we're going to put those tips up on the screen for you now. And you were also going to comment about how perhaps it's okay to not be okay.
And so that's part of the solution. And closing comment is really about, challenging the audience to appreciate the fact that, I'm hoping that you can be ready to be okay, that it's okay not to be fully okay.
That's right. Now, thank you. We have those tips up for those viewers at home. If you'd like more information, please visit leadershipfundamentals.com. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.